So, I'm doing a deep dive with the asteroids in my chart because it's fun. That's all. All right, going house by house. So, in your first house, the sector of self identity, physical appearance, and how you project yourself to the world. These asteroids are in Scorpio, a sign that adds a layer of intensity, mystery, and deep transformation to your personality. Here is a breakdown of the specific asteroids listed in your notes for House 1. Lancelot. The theme: loyalty, chivalry, and romance. Named after the legendary knight Lancelot in your first house, suggests a core identity built on a strong personal code of honor and devotion. That's important to me. You likely present yourself as someone deeply loyal, protective, and perhaps even a bit heroic in your approach to life. Scorpio influence. This chivalry isn't lighthearted, it's intense and potentially secretive. You might be a silent warrior type who is fiercely dedicated to those you love but keeps your true motives guarded. Gotta think about that. Euterp. Don't know if that's how you say it. The theme: creativity, inspiration, and harmony, specifically through music and lyric poetry. The meaning represents the muse of music. Having her in your first house indicates that artistic inspiration is a fundamental part of who you are. You may have a natural rhythm or melody to your personality that others find captivating. Your creativity likely stems from deep emotional wells that may be drawn to wild or hauntingly beautiful forms of expression that explore the darker or more complex side of human nature. Fortuna. Luck, fortune, and success. The Wheel of Fortune. The meaning in your first house suggests that your luck is closely tied to your own actions and how you present yourself. You have the ability to manifest opportunities simply by being your authentic self. That's nice, because that's all I want to do is just be my authentic self. Your path to abundance often comes through vulnerability and navigating life's major highs and lows with resilience. You may find that your most fortunate moments occur right after a period of intense personal transformation. Hard to say because I have a lot of those. A lot. I can't even count. Achilles. The theme is strength, courage, and potential for vulnerability. The Achilles heel. Meaning, this represents your greatest strength that simultaneously contains your most sensitive spot. Fe inferior. In the first house, this often relates to your ego or physical presence. You likely possess immense inner strength and bravery, but you may also feel a need to armor yourself against perceived slights. Well, yeah, if anyone feels sensitive there, it's kind of normal. This placement indicates a warrior spirit that isn't afraid of the underworld or difficult truths. However, your heel may be a tendency to take things very personally or a fear of being seen as weak. I'm not afraid of being seen as weak. However, yes, sometimes I can be very sensitive with certain things. When I was younger, yeah, it was like more victim mindset. But now it's like, okay, I see this is Fe inferior. All right. Since most of these are in retrograde, their energy might feel more internalized or like something you're constantly refining from within. Yeah, I am. The second house, the sector ruling personal finances, values, and self-worth, all reside in Sagittarius. This sign, and this is my sidereal chart, this sign brings an expansive, adventurous, and philosophical energy to this areas. Here's a breakdown. Union, partnerships, harmony, and cooperation. In the second house, union suggests that your sense of financial security and personal values is deeply tied to your relationships and collaborative efforts. You likely find that your net worth is boosted through network and shared resources. I don't know. This indicates a need for freedom and a shared higher vision within your partnerships. You value someone who expands your horizons, yes, or shares your philosophical outlook on life and wealth. Degenera. Relationships, partnerships, and unions, often with a focus on victimization or vulnerability. F inferior. The meaning. Degenera, traditionally associated with the victim archetype. In the second house, this can point to a vulnerability regarding your finances or self-esteem. You may have to be careful of situations where your generosity or values are taken advantage of by others. Oh yes, I think I learned my lesson though. Finally, the Sagittarian optimism might lead you to overlook red flags because you want to believe the best in everyone. It's important to ground your idealism with practical financial boundaries and boundaries in every area. Imhotep. Wisdom, intelligence, and healing. Named after the Egyptian polymath and physician, Imhotep represents mastery and the ability to heal. Its presence here suggests that you have a healing or highly intelligent approach to managing your resources. You may find that your path to wealth involves sharing wisdom or providing a service that aids others' well-being. This points towards a teacher or guide role. Your greatest assets are your knowledge and your ability to see the big picture when others are bogged down in details. And they were in retrograde at your birth, suggesting that the themes of these asteroids, like forming unions or finding your voice, may be more internal or take longer to fully manifest in the outer world. Third house, the realm of communication, intellect, short distance travel, and siblings. These asteroids are in Capricorn. This placement suggests a mind that is serious, structured, and focused on long-term goals or legacy. I never really cared about legacy, really, before. Okay. Lust. Desire, passion, physical sexuality. While lust sounds purely physical in the third house, it manifests as a passionate intellect. You are likely driven by an intense desire to master information or communicate with authority. You don't just chat, you speak with a sense of purpose and intensity. Capricorn grounds this passion. Rather than being impulsive, your desires and your way of expressing them are controlled and directed towards achieving a specific status or tangible result. There is an ambitious quality to your curiosity. I like to know things. I like to understand things. I like to figure things out. Adrasteia. Consequences, accountability, karmic lessons. The meaning. An epithet of Nemesis Rhamnusia represents the inevitable nature of justice. In the house of communication, this suggests you are very aware of the weight of your words. You likely believe that what you say and think has real-world consequences. Yeah, I do take care in how I speak. When I'm harsh, I mean, every now and then I mess up, of course, but I do take care in how I speak. If I feel like I need to be harsh with someone in this moment, then I will be harsh. If I feel like I need to be soft with them, I'll be soft. Sometimes I get it wrong, but sometimes, I mean, it's intentional. Sometimes people need that little wake me up, even though they may hate me for it or think I'm the devil or something just for telling them the truth of what I think. But that's what it is. kind of feel like it's my responsibility in some ways. I mean, and plus it's not, I need to honor myself by being honest. I would want someone to be honest with me, even if it hurts. Okay, moving on. Adrastea, the theme. Did we just talk about that? We did just talk about that. Next. Okay. Real world consequences leading to a measure twice, cut once approach to sharing information. Yeah, I definitely usually think about it before I speak. Okay. This reinforces a sense of karmic responsibility. We just said responsibility. You may feel a duty to speak the truth or act as a moral compass in your immediate environment. You likely have a no-nonsense communication style. Yeah, I usually will just say things as they are, or 11:11 as I think they are, or whatever the fuck, you know? And little patience for those who are flighty or dishonest. Yeah. I've learned to be more patient with that, just with some of my previous relationships, but it was more like I'm observing, seeing if they change, kind of like, okay, if I'm really supportive, is that going to change like the outcome of this? Are they going to start healing? Are they going to like, usually no. People usually will not change who they are. Like that ENTP, he stopped drinking, he stopped being a drunk every day, and he was making positive changes, but at the end of the day, he was still who he was, his nature. I think to change your nature, I don't know. To change deep personality traits, that could take years, But, applaud him for trying. Okay. South Node connection is linked to both of these asteroids. This node represents inherited patterns or past life tendencies. Having lust in Adrastea here suggests past experiences with power, passion, and the results of actions. The challenge is to use a structured Capricorn intellect. The goal is to move away from old karmic weights. The focus is to move towards growth indicated by the North Node, which focuses on higher wisdom and philosophical expansion. Yeah, and in my sidereal, that's Cancer. In my tropical, it would be Leo, but in your 4th house. So this is like identity, the IC. The foundation of the chart represents home, family, roots, and the private inner sanctum. Or isn't the 1st house identity? I don't know. The 4th, I feel, can also be identity-ish. Okay. You have a heavy concentration of asteroids in Aquarius, 4th house. This suggests that while your home life might feel unconventional, your internal world, that's what I mean, is a place of deep psychological exploration and complex boundaries. The hunter archetypes. Cassandra. Intuition, prophecy, mystery. You likely possess a 6th sense regarding your family dynamics or the vibe of your home. However, like the myth of Cassandra, you may feel that your private insights or warnings are often ignored by those closest to you. Yeah, like my mother totally just gaslighting herself her whole life. Okay, moving on. Cerberus, protection, boundaries, and the balance of power. Named after the 3-headed dog guarding the underworld. This suggests you are a fiercely protective of your private life. You likely have very specific rules about who is allowed into your inner circle. Yeah, which is hilarious because just the quality of men I've allowed into my inner circle is just like, what are you thinking? when it comes to like friendships, I've been much more picky and quick to cut people out, which is so interesting. Like, you think I would want to be like that with a romantic relationship, you know? I am now, but in the past, it's like, durr. Okay. The shadows and transformation. Medusa. Cycles of destruction and rebirth. Shadow aspects. This placement indicates that your roots or early home life may have involved intense transformations. You use your home as a laboratory for facing your own shadows to emerge stronger. Nemesis. Retribution, balance, and karma. There is a sense of cosmic justice within your family line. You may feel you are here to balance out old family debts, or to be the one who finally stands up to hidden enemies within the domestic sphere. Yeah, I've felt like that. And then all the spiritual stuff, they confirm it. Didn't need the confirmation, but yeah. The self and mirror. Narcissus. Self-love, self-image, and the balance between inner and outer worlds. In the fourth house, this isn't necessarily about vanity. It's about the need to find your identity, independent of your family's expectations. It's a call to nurture yourself as much as you nurture your roots. The outliers, the isolation degrees. All right, Coronis and Sethos, specifically for their themes of fate, destiny, and potential isolation. These early degree asteroids suggest that your sense of belonging is unpredictable. You may feel like the alien in your own family, seeking hidden knowledge to understand where you truly come from. Yes, and now I'm doing it constantly. And it feels so good to feel like, wow, okay, I do have a soul family. I do come from somewhere, even though I'm in my galactic heritage everywhere. Which still feels like I don't come from anywhere. But then like my latest dream with like the lion, that felt like home. Note on the IC. All of these are conjunct on your IC, which I'm Coeli, the lowest point of your chart. This means these themes aren't just in your house, they are the bedrock of your entire personality. Your fifth house, the sector of creativity, joy, romance, and children. Your notes list 2 specific asteroids in the early degrees of Aquarius. This placement suggests that your approach to play and self-expression is deeply philosophical, unconventional, and tied to a sense of higher purpose. According to your chart notes, these placements are marked by a theme of isolation and detachment. Coronis, fate, destiny, and unpredictable, suggests that your creative outputs or romantic encounters often feel fated or outside of your direct control. You may find that inspiration strikes in sudden, unpredictable waves. It does. The lesson, the isolation mentioned in your notes, may manifest as a need to create in solitude or a feeling that your unique brand of fun isn't easily understood by the collective. No, it's not. There is a destiny involved in how you choose to express your inner child. Yeah, that's what the psychic said. Sethos, the theme, hidden knowledge, wisdom, and potential for attachment. This represents a deeper, more ancient form of intelligence. In this house, it indicates that your hobbies or creative pursuits aren't just for entertainment. They are a way for you to tap into hidden knowledge. You likely seek wisdom through your artistic or romantic experiences. Yeah. The lesson. The detachment theme here suggests a highly cerebral approach to romance or creativity. Yeah. You might analyze your feelings. Do I really? Or your spontaneous urges through a lens of objective wisdom rather than raw emotion. Yeah, I'm trying to tune into my feelings more. I notice that can really confuse me when I'm too much in my head, because especially when you're beginning a relationship, like I need to understand and I need to have it make sense first. Does it make sense to move forward? Does it make sense that he's saying this, doing this, that I'm feeling this way, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I need to hey, you know what? Why don't I just feel? Okay. Okay. You might analyze your feelings or the spontaneous urges through a lens of objective wisdom rather than, raw emotion. Overall fifth house energy. With both asteroids at such early degrees, 0 and 1 degrees, there is a pure or pioneering quality to this energy. You are likely a trailblazer in how you seek pleasure, preferring original, perhaps even alien or avant-garde forms of self-expression over traditional entertainment. Sixth house, the sector of daily routines, health, work habits, and service. You have a high energy stellium, a cluster of planets, in Aries. This is the house of how you show up for the grind. And with Aries here, you do it with fire, independence, and a need to be the pioneer. Based on your notes, here's how the asteroids and planets interact in this hard-working sector. Pardon me. Michelangelo. Conjunction, Venus and Chiron. Creativity, craftsmanship, and artistry. The meaning. This is a beautiful placement for your work life. It suggests that your daily labor must be an act of creation. You likely have the hand of a master, Michelangelo, when it comes to your skills. The healing connection. Because it is conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer, your work or your art is likely a primary source of healing for you. You work through your pain by making things beautiful or functional. Prometheus. Conjunction Sun, Mars, and Uranus. Innovation, rebellion, and breaking free from limitations. Named after the Titan who stole fire from the gods, Prometheus here makes you a true disruptor in the workplace. You aren't meant to follow a 9-to-5 corporate script. Ugh, no. The fire connection. Being conjunct your Sun, identity, and Mars, drive. This confirms that you have a massive amount of physical energy for your daily tasks. However, with Uranus involved, you likely demand total autonomy. Yeah, I need that. You are the innovator who finds a faster, better, and more radical way to get things done. Yeah, it's in my mind wiring. With the Sun and Mars both in Aries and the 6th, you likely have a warrior approach to your health and work. You may be prone to burnout because you move so fast, but you also have the resilience to bounce back quickly. You lead by doing, not just by delegating. Your daily life is a lab for radical self-expression. You aren't just working a job, you are crafting a legacy and stealing fire to change how things are done. 7th house, marriage, committed partnerships, and open enemies. Fun. You have an incredibly dense cluster of asteroids in Taurus. While the 6th house was about me and my work, the 7th house shifts the focus to me and you. With Mercury, communication, and Venus, love, here in Taurus, your relationships are built on a foundation of stability, sensory beauty, and deliberate, thoughtful connection. Based on your handwritten notes, here's the breakdown. The architects of harmony. Pallas, wisdom, strategy, creative intelligence. You approach partnerships with a master plan. You aren't just looking for love. You're looking for a strategic ally who shares your long-term vision. Yeah, Harmonia, balance, relationships, harmony. This suggests a deep soul level need for peace in your domestic life. You are likely the peacemaker who can smooth over any conflict with Taurus-like patience. Pretty good at that. Delphine, intuition, insight, psychic abilities. You have a dolphin-like sensitivity to your partner's needs, often knowing what they're thinking before they speak. Yeah, I'm pretty in tune with my partners. The Lovers and the Seekers. Anteros, reciprocated love, revenge, balance. This asteroid ensures that love must be a two-way street. You don't do unrequited love. You require a partner who gives back exactly what they receive. Yeah, especially now that I'm healthy and learned boundaries and all this. Yes, yes. Cupido. Love, attraction, desire. This adds a layer of love at first sight, or a very strong physical attraction to the people you choose to partner with. Proserpina, power, transformation, growth. Conjunct Mercury, Venus. This suggests your relationships are the primary vehicle for your personal evolution. Yeah, you go to the underworld, transform through your connections with others. Yes, I do. I hope that's done. The power and influence archetypes. Cleopatra. Royalty, power, extravagance. You may be drawn to partners who are powerful, influential, or regal in their own right. You value a partner who is a force to be reckoned with. Rockefeller. Power, wealth, and influence. This reinforces a theme of seeking or building material success and legacy through your partnerships. Aristoteles. Knowledge, wisdom, pursuit of truth. You need a partner who is an intellectual equal, someone you can discuss philosophy and the truth with for hours. Yeah. The artistic and mythic muses. Arachne and Polyhymnia. Creativity, inspiration, and sacred expression. These suggest that your ideal partner is likely a muse or someone who deeply inspires your own artistic or spiritual side. Anubis, transition, transformation, the afterlife. This adds a very Scorpio-like intensity to your Taurus house. Your relationships are often feel fated, helping you navigate major life transitions. Summary. In your seventh house is a powerhouse of stable, luxurious, and deeply intellectual connection. You seek a partner who is a combination of a wise strategist, a powerful influence, and a spiritual muse. Yeah. So I said, what do I need in a soulmate? Based on your extensive 7th and 8th house placements, you don't just need a partner. You need a power couple dynamic that is as intellectually stimulating as it is physically stable. Here's what you specifically need in a soulmate, according to your chart. A strategic and influential equal. Your 7th house in Taurus is packed with asteroids that point towards high status and intelligence. The Queen-King energy. With Cleopatra and Rockefeller here, you need someone who carries themselves with authority and has a strong sense of personal power or wealth. Yeah, like wealth of character and confidence, like things like that. Yeah. Someone that's not a pushover. The intellectual ally. Paulus and Aristoteles demand a partner who is a strategist and a truth seeker. You need someone who you can build a legacy with, not just a life. Balanced and reciprocated devotion. You have a specific all or nothing requirement for how love is given and received. Yeah. The mirror effect on Taurus ensures you need reciprocated love. You cannot thrive with someone who is emotionally unavailable. You need to see your effort reflected back at you perfectly. Yeah. Aesthetic and sensory stability with Venus and Taurus in the 7th. Your soulmate must appreciate beauty, luxury, and physical comfort. A stable, peaceful home environment is a non-negotiable requirement for your long-term commitment. Yeah. A soul-level psychological bond. The eighth house deep intimacy in Gemini contains the moon conjunct Psyche, which suggests a soulmate connection. Mental intimacy. A partner who can communicate at a deep level is needed. Superficial conversations will not suffice. Someone who can explore shadows and transformations with curiosity is essential. Fated connection, the vertex. Placements in this house suggest significant relationships will feel fated or karmic, often appearing as a major personal transformation. The Knight with the Code. Because the first house features Lancelot, a knight-like loyalty is projected. A soulmate is needed who respects this honor code and does not trigger your Achilles heel by being inconsistent or disloyal. Yeah, sounds about right. In the eighth house, which deals with deep intimacy, shared resources, and transformation, there is a grouping in Gemini centered around the moon and vertex, the point of fated encounters. With the Gemini moon here, emotional security is linked to intellectual intimacy. A need to discuss taboo and deep subjects may exist to feel safe. Psychological core, Psyche. This is a placement that is soulmate oriented. It suggests psychic sensitivity. Emotional life is a journey of psychological self-discovery. Frigga. This suggests that nurturing involves deep family bonds or providing emotional security through times of crisis. Yeah. The public and social shadow, conjunct vertex. The vertex represents fated people who enter your life. These asteroids suggest the types of fated experiences. Fama and felicitas. Fated moments of public recognition or joy may be experienced through partnerships or shared financial ventures. Gold and Talia. Fated encounters could bring material abundance or healing through humor and creativity. The complex lessons. Conjunct vertex. Nisus. This suggests that fated encounters may involve power struggles or karmic lessons regarding boundaries. The cycle of power in relationships is likely to be healed. Lamea. This adds a mystical quality to intimacy. Partners may feel otherworldly or involve a sense of mystery. And the wise feminine. Lascithia, wisdom, insight, and intuition, which is interesting. It's at 11 degrees 11. 11. Neato. Alkiste, sacrifice and selflessness, and nymph, attraction and charm. Power in the eighth house comes from a mix of intellectual wisdom and charm. Deep crises are likely navigated with grace and sacrifice. Not always with grace. The eighth house is a library of the soul. Trauma and intimacy are processed through communication, Gemini, and psychological mapping, Psyche. Fated partners who are either very light or very dark may be attracted. The moon Psyche intuition may be needed to find balance. Tell me more about my psychic sensitivity. Your chart indicates that your psychic sensitivity is not just a feeling, it is a multi-layered system that acts as a mental, emotional, and protective compass. Based on your unique asteroid clusters, I have my red garnet bracelet on that I just got. It's supposed to cleanse the blood. Okay. Here is a deeper look at how your intuition operates. Intellectual and telepathic sensitivity. The moon conjunct Psyche in the eighth house suggests that psychic insights often come through mental downloads of or knowing others' thoughts before they speak. The Psyche connection. In Gemini, in person, Psyche suggests mental telepathy. One is likely hypersensitive to the vibration of a conversation or the unspoken subtext in a room. Yeah. The eighth house depth. Because this is the house of secrets, intuition is tuned to what is hidden, taboo, or left unsaid. One does not just hear words, one reads the soul behind them. Yeah. Prophetic and protective warning. Fourth house Aquarius. The fourth house features Cassandra and Cerberus, creating a siren style of intuition. The Cassandra gift. One likely experiences foreknowledge or prophetic vibes about the future. However, because of the Cassandra archetype, there may be a history of people, especially family, ignoring warnings until it's too late. Domestic radar. One has a sixth sense regarding the energy of home and the safety of the inner circle. Cerberus acts as a psychic boundary guard, alerting immediately when someone's energy doesn't fit in a private space. Magnetic and penetrating insight, first house Scorpio, or Terpy, you Terp, and Achilles in the Scorpio rising house suggests that psychic sensitivity is visceral. The Scorpio X-ray, one likely feels people's energy in the body. This is a penetrating intuition that can see through masks and facades instantly. Yeah, I just had to learn to listen to it. Listen. Trust it. Vulnerability as a sensor. Achilles suggests that a weak spot, sensitivity, is actually the greatest radar. One is most intuitive when allowing oneself to be emotionally open. Though there may be a need to armor up to protect from the heavy energy absorbed. Relational empathy, 7th house Taurus. Delphine and Harmonia provide a specialized intuition for one-on-one dynamics. Yeah, one-on-one, that's my strength. Delphine provides sonar-like sensitivity in relationships. One can ping the emotional state of a partner or close friend and adjust energy to bring them back to harmonia, balance. In your 9th house, the sector of higher wisdom, long-distance travel, philosophy, and spiritual expansion, you have a profound cluster in Cancer. This house is particularly significant because it contains your North Node, which represents your soul's purpose, or the direction you are meant to grow towards in this lifetime. Because these are in Cancer, your spiritual path is not cold or academic. It is deeply emotional, intuitive, and focused on nurturing higher truths. Based on your notes, here is the breakdown. The final breakdown. The evolutionary path, the North Node cluster. North Node is joined by several intense asteroids that suggest your destiny involves mastering powerful transformative energies. Orcus, power, control, and transformation. Orcus is similar to Pluto. It deals with soul oaths and integrity. In the 9th house, your spiritual growth comes from standing in your power and staying true to your deepest convictions, even when challenged. Lucifer, rebellion, enlightenment, and transformation. Don't let the name scare you. In astrology, Lucifer represents the light bearer. This suggests your path to enlightenment involves a rebellion against traditional dogmas to find your own internal light. Clotho, new beginnings, fresh starts, and potential for change. Named after the fate who spins the thread of life, this indicates that your higher education or spiritual journeys often trigger rebirths, where you start a completely new chapter of your life. Yeah, so many. 8 or Ate, destruction, recklessness, and chaos. This is a warning to avoid impulsive or blind leaps in your belief systems. It suggests that your greatest spiritual lessons might come from cleaning up chaos caused by acting without foresight. Yeah, like when you ignore your intuition. That'd be the creative soul. Sappho, creativity, passion, and beauty. This is a beautiful placement for the 9th house. It suggests that you find God, the divine, through art, poetry, and beauty. Your philosophy of life is deeply romantic and aesthetic. You may find your tribe through shared creative or intellectual passions. The fated turning point, vertex connection. Your notes indicate that the vertex, the point of destined encounters, interacts with this ninth house cluster. This means that people you meet, teachers, foreigners, or mentors, will act as catalysts to push you towards your North Node destiny. These encounters often feel like lightning strikes that suddenly change your worldview or your life direction. Summary: your higher self is a nurturing rebel. You are here to move away from the rigid structures of the past, the South Node, and towards a life of emotional wisdom, creative passion, and self-sovereign enlightenment. Yes, I'm on that path. In your final 3 houses, we see the apex of your chart, your career, social networks, and your hidden spiritual depths. The 10th house, career and legacy. With Leo on the midheaven, your public life is meant to be visible and authoritative. Haumea, this is a powerful placement for the midwife of the soul. It suggests your career involves constant transformation and rebirth. You don't just do a job. You create life-giving systems or help others birth new versions of themselves. 11th house, community and higher goals. In Virgo, this is where you apply your intelligence to collective goals. You are the academic analyst of your social circle. Pluto in academia. You are drawn to intense, deep dive intellectual pursuits. You likely seek out groups or friends who are as intellectually rigorous as you are. Saturn conjunct Themis. You have a strong internal judge. You are deeply committed to justice, morality, and the natural order. You may find yourself in roles where you have to hold organizations or groups accountable to ethical standards. MC conjunct Taureau. This gives you the strength of a bull to pursue your long-term dreams. You have the raw courage and determination to push through any social obstacles. 12th house, the subconscious and karma, Libra. This is the most private part of your chart. Should I share it? Dealing with what is hidden or behind the veil. Lilith conjunct Persephone in retrograde. This is profound. Queen of the underworld. Signature. It suggests that your greatest psychological strength comes from navigating your own darkness. You are an expert at endings and new beginnings, perhaps helping others through their own dark nights of the soul. Quaoar. This brings a spiritual and creative connection to your subconscious. Even in your most private or difficult moments, you have access to a deep well of inspiration that sings through you. Summary of the whole chart. You have a galactic warrior soul. Your life path moves from a structured, perhaps restricted past towards a future of emotional nurturing and spiritual rebellion. That sounds good. You are here to lead through intellectual mastery and transformative wisdom. And your chart is dominated by a powerful Mars-Pluto signature. This indicates a personality built on intensity, transformation, and self-sovereignty. Yeah, and I guess we'll end it here because I'm tired. It's pretty much just a summary anyway. But yeah, that was fun. It was so fun. Okay, well, if you made it this far, thanks. Bye.